What's up, everybody? Mr. Second Passport here. Today I'm going to cover 14 ways that I've changed since living in Ecuador, right? Since moving here several years ago, right? Number one, the way I look at dogs has changed. I used to like dogs, and now, after living here a while, dogs are kind of mangy, disease-carrying creatures, right? That you shouldn't touch or even be near. I'm just kind of, my image of dogs has kind of changed for the worse. Number two, litter. My whole view on litter and littering, right? I'm perfectly okay sitting in a bus. If there's no place to throw something away, just open the window, chuck it out. Just kidding. That hasn't changed. But definitely I'm not as grossed out about litter as I used to be when I first came here. Number three, punctuality has gotten a lot worse since living in Ecuador when it comes to me personally. Just because if you're super punctual here, a lot of times you're kind of penalized, right? And having to wait around for other people. So I've preferred to not be the punctual one, unfortunately. Number four, my eating habits have changed. Like, when I actually like rice and plantains now, a big plate of plain white rice. If I'm hungry, I'll eat it. That comes with years, trust me. Number five, since living here, I stopped eating pork because I was living in the Ecuador countryside, and I could hear and see how they kill the pigs, and it just made me realize that maybe eating pork is not the best idea. Also seeing how the pigs live, in like a 3x3 feet wooden pen in their own feces and stuff, and seeing what they eat and smelling them, it's just made me not want to eat pork anymore since I moved to and this happened pretty much since I moved to Ecuador. Number six, I find myself sometimes a little entitled. It really comes out or stands out when I go back to the U.S. to visit. For instance, I'll often find myself leaving my old tray of food, dirty plates, right there on the table in the mall, right, expecting someone else to pick up after me. Or maybe I'll feel appalled by the thought of actually having to pump my own gas. Number seven, one way Ecuador's changed me a lot is when I see older people working, like when I'm flying within the U.S. and I see these really old-looking flight attendants, it really surprises me, and that's a product, I think, of being in Ecuador, where it seems like if you're above 35, they pretty much don't want to hire you for most things. Number eight, I'm definitely a worse driver than I used to be before I moved to Ecuador. I've noticed this when driving in the U.S. I'll often find myself casually drifting between lanes and lane sharing, and I've noticed North Americans don't like that very much. Number nine is similar. I think this is from a product of taking a lot of buses in Ecuador, but when I'm driving a car, I'll often, if someone wants to get in, I'll often not come to a complete stop, or I'll start driving before they're fully in the car and expect them to hurry up and shuffle in, and then close the door as we're already going several miles an hour. This is purely an Ecuador thing. Number 10, I found myself when pulling out of any place, out of a parking area, if I'm backing up and there's someone walking right behind me, my urge will be to lower the window and give that person a quarter. Not a good idea if you're in North America. Well, I've definitely found myself to be a worse tipper since living in Ecuador, where I often consider myself, if I give people larger coins, like a 50-cent piece or $1, I consider that a good tip, where that's often not the case in a place like North America. When I'm in a crowded place and I have a backpack, I will wear that backpack forward, not backward. That's definitely a habit I picked up in Ecuador. The next way I've changed, when I was in North America doing a rehab recently, I noticed the handyman don't like it very much in North America when you ask them to do little extra things and still expect to pay the same price at the end of the day. I found out the hard way on that one. I'm just used to it here in Ecuador. And the last one, the way I've changed is I often feel insulted when I have to bag my own groceries, and that's not a good thing when in North America. Anyway, that's it. Those are 14 ways that I have changed personally, and probably not for the better since moving to Ecuador and living here several years. I'm Mr. Second Passport. Take care.